police are sharing new information surrounding the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother. One day after Nancy Guthrie was reported missing from her Tucson, Arizona home, authorities are now saying they believe she was abducted. With the Pima County Sheriff's spokesperson telling MS Now February 2nd, Sheriff Nanos has stated that he believes a crime has been committed. At this point, investigators believe Mrs. Guthrie was taken from the home against her will.
Hooray for Hollywood, that screwy ballyhooey Hollywood, where any office boy or young mechanic can be a panic with just a good-looking pan. And any barmaid, she can be a star maid if she dances with or without her fan. Hooray for Hollywood!
Possibly in the middle of the night, detectives are looking into a possible kidnapping or abduction. The statement continues, "At this time, Mrs. Guthrie is still considered missing. Detectives remain on scene and are actively following up on all tips as they are received."
Just this week, you retweeted to your 87 million followers a conspiracy theory that Joe Biden orchestrated to have SEAL Team 6, the Navy SEAL Team 6, killed to cover up the fake death of bin Laden. Now, why would you send a lie like that to your followers? You retweeted
That was a retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
You're not like someone's crazy uncle who can just retweet whatever.
That was a retweet, and I do a lot of retweets. And frankly, because the media is so fake and so corrupt, if I didn't have social media, I don't call it Twitter, I call it social media, I wouldn't be able to get the word out. And the word is false. And you know what the word is? The word is very simple. We're building our country stronger and better than it's ever been before.
We appreciate your continued assistance in covering this case. E! News has reached out to the Pima County Sheriff's Office for comment, but hasn't yet heard back. This latest information comes as Savannah's mom was reported missing February 1st after police say she was last seen by her family at home around 9:30 p.m. the night before.
Where you're terrific if you're even good, where anyone at all from Shirley Temple to Amy Semple is equally understood. Go out and try your luck, you might be Donald Duck. Hooray for Hollywood!
Frederick Christ Trump was a prominent real estate developer in New York City. He was the father of Donald Trump and Marianne Trump Berry, a former United States Court of Appeals judge. In partnership with his mother, Elizabeth Christ Trump, he began a career in home construction and sales. Their real estate development company was incorporated as E. Trump & Son in 1927. It grew to build and manage single-family houses in Queens, barracks and garden apartments for U.S. Navy personnel near major shipyards along the East Coast, and more than 27,000 apartments in New York City. Trump was investigated by a U.S. Senate committee for profiteering in 1954 and again by the state of New York in 1966. Donald became the president of his father's real estate business in 1971 and they were sued by the U.S. Justice Department Civil Rights Division for violating the Fair Housing Act in 1973. Trump's father, the German-American Friedrich Trump, amassed a considerable fortune during the Klondike Gold Rush by running a restaurant for the miners.
As I look around, it's mighty plain to see this world is a wicked and a funny place to be. Gambling man is rich and the working man is poor. I ain't got no home in this world anymore.
Today in the Daily Dose, Woodrow Wilson's White House sheep. To further drive down taxpayer expense for maintaining the expansive lawns that surrounded the White House, in 1918, Dr. Cary Grayson, a close friend and personal aide to the president, purchased 12 sheep and 4 lambs from William Woodward's farm in nearby Bowie, Maryland, a flock that not only trimmed the White House lawns, but also produced over 90 pounds of wool that was auctioned off for the Red Cross War Fund, raising more than $50,000, or slightly more than $1 million in today's currency. Over the next 3 summers, the White House flock grew to 48 sheep, until glaring problems arose due to an overabundance of destructive, gluttonous sheep. According to a Washington Post article, the White House sheep grew increasingly spooked by the steady parade of cars that ferried tourists past the White House for a glimpse at the president's sheep, at the same time falling ill with pneumonia at the height of the Spanish flu pandemic, which infected more than 1/3 of the world's population while taking the lives of an estimated 50 million people. They also tore up much of the back lawn of the White House, prompting Wilson to move them to the front lawn after erecting fences to protect the flowers and trees, which the sheep managed to destroy anyway. Sold off in 1920, the legacy of Wilson's sheep lives on in his presidential library in Staunton, Virginia, making Woodrow Wilson the one and only American president to show his patriotism through sheep.
I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. We're signing a health care plan within 2 weeks. The virus will not have a chance against us. No, I don't take responsibility at all. Russia, 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 Russia. I have such respect for women. I cherish women. The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
No, I ain't got no home in this world
come from Chillicoths and Paducahs with their bazookas to get their names up in lights.
We are going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C.
They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
Hair in ribbons and legs in tights. Hooray for Hollywood. You may be homely in your neighborhood, but if you think that you can be an actor, see Mr. Factor, he'd make a monkey look good. And all your friends will say, hey look, there's Doris Day.
Let me just mention briefly one threat in particular that should concern all Americans, Democrats, Republicans, and independents alike, especially those who serve in our Congress. The epidemic of malicious fake news and false propaganda that flooded social media over the past year, it's now clear that so-called fake news can have real-world consequences. This isn't about politics or partisanship. Lives are at risk. Lives of ordinary people just trying to go about their days, to do their jobs, contribute to their communities. It's a danger that must be addressed, and addressed quickly. Bipartisan legislation is making its way through Congress to boost the government's response to foreign propaganda, and Silicon Valley is starting to grapple with the challenge and threat of fake news. It's imperative that leaders in both the private sector and the public sector step up to protect our democracy and innocent lives.
This country is founded by people who were into aliens, man. George Washington, man, he was in a cult, and the cult was into aliens, man. You didn't know that? No. Oh, man, they were way into that type of stuff, man. You're getting air from there, man. It's no good.
It was the last day of school.
Miss Crawford, I was thinking that maybe you and I can get together over the summer. I mean, it'll be legal. I mean, we can make...
It was the first day of summer vacation.
You guys know anything about a party here tonight? No, sir.
It was a time they will never forget.
There's a new fiesta in the making as we speak.
I thought he was cute.
Oh, you thought he was cute?
Do you realize when he graduated, we were like 3 years old?
Hunter Biden, the son of US President Joe Biden, is facing a possible jail term after being convicted for gun crimes.
Let's go live to US correspondent Miley Hogan. Miley, a jury found him guilty on all 3 counts.
Chevo, Nat, good morning. They did, and it was a quick decision as well. They only deliberated for 3 hours across 2 days to come back with this verdict, finding that the US president's son, Hunter Biden, was guilty on all 3 counts of charges relating to possession of a weapon while using narcotics. Now, it was found that Hunter Biden lied on the federal forms or the background check of sorts, saying that he was not using drugs or addicted to drugs at the time of purchasing that weapon. Now, during this trial, Hunter Biden's addiction to crack cocaine was really laid out, but it's not a subject that Hunter Biden has shied away from publicly before.
You asked me a question back in May, and you can repeat that question.
The question we asked you back in May?
Yes.
Can you explain
the video
what
you asked me a couple of questions, and what were those questions?
Do you smoke crack cocaine?
Exactly. Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
When,
but
sir?
no, do I? Am I an addict? No.
When have you?
Have I tried it? Probably in one of my drunken stupors, probably approximately about a year ago.
Finally, I have to mention a man who's made life at the White House very sweet. This is one of Michelle and my favorite people, our executive pastry chef, Bill Yosis, who's here tonight with his husband, Charlie. Where's Bill? So,
but he's leaving.
This is the problem. We call Bill the crust master because his pies, I don't know what he does, whether he puts crack in them or, but.
No, he doesn't.
You guys have got to try the cold chai.
I've had it. Did you talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren?
You guys have got to try the cold chai.
The White House is fighting back today against reports that the Biden administration is giving away free crack pipes, saying the administration is instead sending money to communities across the country to confront an overdose epidemic. KCAU 9 Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson gives us the details.
The Biden administration says it is not preparing to give out free crack pipes.
What we're really talking about here is steps that we're taking as a federal government to address the opioid epidemic.
The surprising rumor came after the Department of Health and Human Services discussed plans for safe smoking kits. They say the kits are a part of a $30 million harm reduction program and don't contain pipes.
We're never a part of the kit. It was inaccurate reporting.
But Republican lawmakers like South Dakota Senator John Thune and Kansas Senator Roger Marshall aren't convinced.
Until they got caught, free government crack pipes and other drug paraphernalia.
Well, I got the Pfizer, and I would have been very happy with any of them.
But I woke up and I felt good. I said, get me out of here. Boom, Superman. Through Operation Warp Speed.
Whether it's heroin, morphine, or today's synthetic opioids, it all traces back to the same origin, the opium poppy. Some of the earliest references to the plant date back to 3400 BC. It was used by the ancient Greeks, Persians, and the Egyptians. A milky sap from the flower processed to produce opium, which people would smoke to help them sleep or relieve pain. By the 7th century AD, opium made its way to China and East Asia. Fast forward to the 1700s, the British Empire begins smuggling opium into China through the East India Company. As a result, opium addiction in China. China's attempts to outlaw it in the 1800s even sparked 2 wars with the British. Opium use spread to the U.S. during the California Gold Rush, when thousands of Chinese workers came to the country. Now back to morphine. The drug was first isolated from opium in 1803 to use as a painkiller. In its most pure form, it's 10 times stronger than opium and is the base for synthetic opiates like codeine, oxycodone, and fentanyl. After thousands of soldiers became addicted to morphine during the Civil War, English chemist Alder Wright developed heroin, which was intended to be a safer alternative to morphine. It was even marketed by the pharmaceutical company Bayer as a cough suppressant for kids. And by 1914, heroin and opiate addiction became such a problem that the government passed the Harrison Narcotics Tax Act, which restricted the sale and distribution of the drugs. 10 years later, heroin was made completely illegal. But as we all know, that hasn't stopped the drug and its alternatives from flooding into the United States.
Be a vaccine hero. Get vaccinated.
Well, if I were to just write it on Facebook, nobody would notice it. And my job is to have company teams leading some 1,000 sheep from A to B. And I have noticed how enthusiastically the sheep are received and that it simply reaches people deep inside, which is perhaps not possible rationally with rational argument.
Oh, hell no!
And heads are exploding across this nation as we learn that this administration is giving crack pipes to crack heads.
Yes, please.
Now, a group of Republican senators are proposing legislation to prevent any federal funding of crack pipes.
Harm reduction is what is needed right now.
Anthony Covington with Volunteers of America helps distribute safe smoking kits that don't include pipes.
Sometimes you got to meet where the addicted person is at.
Covington says he's glad the controversy is bringing more attention to an important topic.
And I think if we all put ourselves together and collaborate together, then I think that we'll be able to tackle this war on drugs and addiction.
The latest bizarre twist for Toronto's Mayor Rob Ford. He has been stripped of some of his powers, but his saga just keeps growing, and his new TV show is set to launch tonight. ABC's Lindsay Davis has the latest.
Despite all the action on the field, this was the play that caused quite a stir in the stadium. Even though the league's commissioner asked him to stay away, embattled Toronto Mayor Rob Ford showed up at Sunday's Canadian Football League playoff game, jersey and all, greeted by both cheers and jeers, this woman hoisting a sign mocking the mayor. On Saturday, that mockery had a much larger audience.
I'm the best mayor in the world.
When NBC's Saturday Night Live created a few laughs at Ford's expense.
Wow. Whoopsie daisy. I was looking for my brother, Al Donnelly. He's around here somewhere. So you fellas are performers or...
Oh, no thanks. I never touch the stuff. There's enough in the air here to get everybody high.
Besides, it gives you the munchies. God knows I don't need that. Yay!
But, Rock the Vote presents mud hunting. I don't think these kids want to hear me talk about bond issues, man.
Al, we are lucky to be a part of this. Just go out, tell the kids to vote, do an interview with some MTV person, and we're out of here.
Oh, I love you guys. This is fun.
So anyway, what you were saying,
I'm the man, Whitey, and you guys are the victims of a tyrannical, racist, oppressive society.
That's right.
Here we go. Man, that sucks!
Sucks true.
I'm gonna talk to some people and straighten this out, man.
Right.
This is a bunch of bull crap. Right? Yeah!
So when do I go on? I don't know, 6, 7 minutes. Just relax.
All right.
Straighten your tie.
Should I lose the tie?
Loosen the tie.
Just take it down.
Kill.
Take it down.
In recent weeks, the mayor of Canada's largest city has admitted to smoking crack.
I apologize.
Then there were his lewd comments during a live press conference while denying that he propositioned a former employee with a sexual act.
I used unforgivable language. And again, I apologize.
But Ford is making no apologies for his insistence on staying in office, even after Toronto City Council voted overwhelmingly Friday to strip Ford of many of his mayoral powers.
The motion carries 39-3.
Ford vowed not to go down without a fight.
I can't support this, and I have really no other options but to challenge this in court.
Excellent, man!
So what's your name?
Oh, Mike Donnelly.
Governor Donnelly?
Yeah.
Nice threads.
Yeah.
No, you jag. He ain't the governor. He's running for governor. Well, hey, get on out there.
No, you got the wrong guy. Hey, just a second, fellas, come on. Let go of me, man. Easy. Tomato salt to me.
Not supposed to be here. God, what is this?
In an interview with Fox News on Sunday, Ford said he's getting professional help.
I've admitted to using illegal drugs in the last year. Okay, I've admitted to drinking too much. Okay, so I'm dealing with it.
In between apologies and public appearances, Ford's also been taping his new television show, Ford Nation, set to debut in Canada tonight.
I want to thank my supporters for sticking with me. I guarantee you're going to see a change in the next few months.
According to CTV, there are also new reports that right before losing some of his mayoral powers, Ford gave everyone in his office a $5,000 raise. Later today, the city council is expected to attempt to pass another motion that would slash the mayor's budget and grant the deputy mayor most of the power. Robin?
All right, Lindsay, thank you. And you knew Saturday Night Live was going to go there. And they went there in a big way. All right.
I guess I could sure use some cupcakes or some peanut butter cups about now. Yeah! You know what that's about? Yeah! So I guess you guys should vote, because voting kicks right? Yeah! And let me tell you, if you're gonna vote, why not vote for Al Donnelly, right? That's one small step for man, one giant. I have a dream. Power to the people. Oh, Mike. Hey, fellas. Yeah. Kill Whitey! No.
Now, he is facing 25 years in prison, but that is the maximum, and he is unlikely to get that because he is a first-time offender and he did not use that weapon to commit a violent crime. The US president has responded to this in a statement saying, "I am the president, but I am also a dad. Jill and I love our son, and we are so proud of the man he is today. I will accept the outcome of this case and will continue to respect the judicial process as Hunter Biden considers an appeal." Now, Joe Biden is in the final months of his re-election campaign, and just today he appeared at an event that had been previously scheduled, and that event was talking about reducing gun violence in the American community. Guys.
Okay, thank you, Marley.
If only they could remember it.
Okay. So you're not going to go to law school? What do you want to do then? I want to dance. You going to be quarterback next year? I don't know. I might not even play.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man.
Super dominant male in a 50s greaser uniform. That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
The 50s were boring. The 60s rocked. The 70s, oh my God, they obviously suck.
Dazed and confused.
Welcome to Walt Disney World's newly updated Hall of Presidents.
But it was with the confidence of my fellow citizens that I took an oath. 35 simple words that have been repeated by every American president throughout history.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. And by the way, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
I'm not allowed to own a gun or travel to Canada.
What the hell's happening?
Now, if you'll excuse me, I am late
for my community service.
Talk about going the extra mile. The team is walking out here into the neighborhood to make a house call for a woman who can't leave home.
I had to come out here, especially after hearing that this area was hit, one of the hardest hit in Montgomery County, and that many people, if they couldn't walk to a location, they might not be getting that vaccine.
You look so powerful. High five. That's oh, you're so strong. You knocked me over. You've been lifting weights, haven't you? You look so big.
And he's got his hair like Superman.
He's got a Superman hair.
I'm doing my thing.
I was watching.
That's POTUS. I know, that's POTUS.
Well, another event happening now, the Superman celebration just kicking off in Metropolis. You're looking live at downtown Metropolis. Right now, you can take part in the Stump the Superman Expert event, the 32nd annual Superman Collectors Auction, and lots more going on out there. The festival kicked off this morning and runs through Sunday, so you better get out there. Well,
all right, the former president paid a visit to celebrate the monumental occasion for his new presidential center.
Our Nate Rogers has more. Nate.
Just a short time ago, President Barack Obama truly made a bunch of construction workers feel extra special. He shook all of their hands and he thanked them for their part in building this monumental campus. Now, take a look at this video that we shot for you. The 44th President of the United States arriving back home here in Jackson Park, greeting construction workers, also signing a structural support beam. You can see an estimated 100 construction workers that gathered for today's special milestone. The museum building is the tallest structure on the 19-acre property, reaching 225 feet. The highly anticipated presidential center features a fruit and vegetable garden, athletic programs, events facility, a world-class museum, and auditorium, also a branch of the Chicago Public Library. Officials say it's estimated to generate 700,000 annual visitors, a long-term economic impact of more than $3 billion, and it'll generate more than 5,000 jobs. Here's more from President Obama and one of the interns lucky enough to meet him.
And the dedication that all of you have shown, the professionalism, the hard work, the willingness to be out here when it's freezing cold, the sacrifices all you make to make this happen, something that I could not be more grateful for and appreciate.
So you shook his hand. What was that like?
It was a really cool experience. He came out, he signed a beam, and he wanted to appreciate all the workers, so he shook almost everyone that was there's hand, and he went on his way.
And the center is expected to open in 2026. President Obama joked with the construction workers, saying he'd shake their hands, but he did not have time to take individual selfies, or he said he'd never make it back home. It is the latest here in Jackson Park. Nate Rogers, Fox 32 Chicago.
Come with me if you want to live.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
Here it is, an S. How about soup?
Excuse me.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
The world needs to know what happened.
The branding of cattle is a tradition in the American West, but its roots might just surprise you. Branding is the practice of marking cattle. In fact, most livestock is marked in some way or another, and even those that raise horses use brands to identify their horses and their bloodline.
A future that Ernest Cline, the writer of the book, envisioned. I was very careful with Ernie collaborating with me every step of the way to be able to find the movie narrative inside this dense forest of Ernie's profound imagination.
The Oasis being the ultimate toy box with all the toys in the world, and then playing that with one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. It results in just amazing action and such a fun adventure.
Ernest Cline is such a visionary, and I think has seen the future before any of us possibly could even imagine it.